For me, normal random collision town on, London, Ontario, and Canada. But Broski, you'd know a little bit about that too, wouldn't you?
I made my collision debut this Saturday. I had to switch some things around. Originally, I was supposed to wrestle Ultimo Dragon on Saturday. Instead, I defended my Squared Circle Expo title against Ziggler, a.k.a. Nemeth, on Friday. Lost the Strizap Squared Circle Expo Screwjob. I said, that's it. I'm out of here. I'm taking a flight to Detroit to get a rental car to drive to London, Ontario. And that's exactly what I did.
So how the hell did this come about?
Well, I heard there was a Cope Open.
Okay.
Adam Copeland, a mentor of mine. I'm a former Edgehead. I heard he had an open challenge, a Cope Open, defending that TNT championship. I said, you know what? I'm always ready. And I was leaving the Square Circle Expo anyway because of the screw job. I said, I think if I get on a flight from Indianapolis to Detroit, rent a car, even though National says I can't drop it off in Canada, I'll just lie to National and say I'm dropping it off in Detroit still. Yep. Across the border, drive to London, Ontario, sneak into the building, and then put a black tarp over my body and walk to Gorilla. I think that's what I'm going to do, and that's exactly what I did.
Wow. I believe they call it the go position.
Oh, I'm sorry. The go position. But seriously, yeah, I got to have my dream match, my literal dream match against Adam Copeland. Edge versus Edgehead, rated R superstar versus self-made superstar. And holy shit, it was a wild 24 hours, but, one of my career highlights, and it's crazy. It just happened like that, and it's already up there on that list.
Can you say like when you started planning for this?
Wednesday night.
Wednesday night. So it's crazy.
The
to
day
me
before, I drank and ate my face off at Epcot.
Tuesday.
And then Wednesday, the night before, so Tuesday. And then Wednesday, I was like, you know what? I think I'm getting some good wrestling shape by Saturday night. Let's go.
Here's the crazy thing.
I said, if I get randomly booked against Nemeth on Friday for some reason, lose, I'll be so pissed. I'm gonna find that flight to Detroit, get a rental car.
We're dancing around this.
Drive to London.
The worst kayfabe explanation of this whole
After
thing.
we just did a whole bonus podcast.
It's better than you, Brian, telling him when I had diarrhea.
Oh, bro. What was I supposed to do? I had 37
Wait a minute. What? That's what happened?
So to me, this is ridiculous. I'm leaving thing was so not believable and stupid, even though that's what Broski really wanted to go with. I'm like, people kept like, where is he? Is he coming down? I said, yeah, he's just got diarrhea. I said, I think he'll be down a little bit. Just hang tight. I told about 40 people that throughout the day. Because what am I supposed to do?
Hang tight.
I didn't let many people know about my plan to fly to Detroit to get the car to drive to London, Ontario. Brian knew.
Did you tell Kinnick?
Kinnick did not know. I did not tell him unless Brian did. I told my wife.
Told him.
I told Nick Nemeth.
So what did you tell Kinnick when you just weren't going to see him the next day?
I didn't tell him anything.
So he just thought he would see you at your table, and you woke up, went to the thing, and
I guess. I don't know. You got to ask him, pal.
I just think
Heath didn't know?
the excuse that Matt Cardona would willingly leave a convention and not make money is so not believable that you should have just.
Listen. I still. I'm sticking to my guns. I'm glad I didn't tell people.
Okay, back up. What Wednesday night on the podcast?
Well, we really should be saying
telephone, telegram, telewrestler. That's how it works.
I completely agree. I agree with Matt in this. This is not something that should have been common knowledge, right?
Yeah.
But what in this segment and in this show, what you should say is that Ed, the promoter of Square Circle Expo, is one cool motherfucker.
Yeah.
To appease to all these changes and things to let you go have a fucking dream match and be cool about it.
Ed is super cool. I'm also super cool for at least coming the first day. But seriously, Ed's a pro's pro, totally understood the situation. And guys, don't worry, I'm not banned from Square Circle Expo. I will be back next year. I love Ed. He's awesome. But yeah, when I had the opportunity to have my dream match, which we talked about it last week on the pod, How crazy is that?
Bro, that's what I was going to say. Monday, Brian says, and we put this on social media and stuff. Brian says, your failed AEW run. And I said, it's not really failed. You're 2-0. And then you make the joke.
No, you both are like, no, there were shirts.
3 shirts, 2 matches.
2-0, 3 shirts.
Top selling shirt.
And then Broski says, wins matter, rankings. I could pop in for a title shot. And we all went,
Also true, yeah.
And then there you go.
and then he walked in for a title shot.
Pretty unbelievable, actually.
So you'll love this, Mark. So when I had this idea that I was going to, accept the Copeland. Take a shot. Take a shot at PBR.
It should be the Copen Challenge.
I had gear made.
Yes.
Instantly, right? And had to overnight it to Squared Circle Expo.
Yeah.
Of course it didn't come.
Yeah.
Of course it didn't come. So luckily I'm always ready with my Deathmatch King stuff. But
I feel like that had to give you a lot of anxiety.
Of course it did. Of course it did. Because you know me, especially with gear. And luckily I packed stuff like just in case the gear didn't show up. Like something I would be comfortable wearing on television. But of course I wish the gear had come. But in retrospect, it's fine that it didn't because, this was my Major Bendy exclusive. So at least like it's a figure form. I have this match will live on in figure form,
Where did the gear go? It got delivered today to the hotel?
Yeah.
And then what?
Rick is having it sent back to him.
Oh, okay. You can do that.
That's crazy. I did hear that story.
Yeah.
Now, I'm there, right?
I didn't tell Mark.
Did not tell me. I am there.
Which I knew all along, but that was like probably the most fun aspect of it for me.
Really? So
Yeah.
once I sent the message in the chat, you were like, ha 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 ha.
Yeah, that was like my favorite. Once Mark figured it out, yeah.
Well, Mark, tell him how you found out.
Yeah, so I was and I just talked about this earlier. I was filming the pre-show to Collision. So I was in like the interview set or whatever. For a bit. Like I want to say like maybe an hour. We were waiting for people to show up, blah blah blah. And then I walked out around 5:30 and in that hour, I'm thinking, okay, yeah, things, probably the matches got booked, there's boards probably up, people know what they're doing. So now I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And Daddy Magic comes up and he says, so your boy's doing the open challenge. And I immediately thought, I got all like nervous because I thought it was Josh. I thought Josh was walking out doing the open challenge and it was like an hour and a half before TV and I had no idea. But then I was like, Josh? He's like, no, Matt Cardona. I was like, no, he's not. He's at the Squared Circle Expo. They were talking about it all week. Like,
Oh man.
and then he was like, no, for real. Like, but he didn't tell you? he didn't tell you?
And then Mark instantly gets offended and mad.
So then I'm upset.
Oh my god.
And then a couple minutes later, I walk up to Johnny and Taya, and I'm like, I can't believe he didn't fucking tell me. And they're like, who? What are you talking about? I said, Matt. And they're like, Matt, what?
Sometimes you gotta keep a fucking secret, Mark.
I know.
I said, Matt's here for the open challenge. And they were like, what? Where is he? I said, he's in Edge's room. And they're like, let's go in there. And I was like, okay, but I'm not knocking. So Morrison knocks on the door and he opens it and Adam is there. And he's like, hey, what's up? You just in here alone? Yeah. And Adam goes like that with his head. And then we walk in and there's Broski. And then we joked later that we embarrassed him because we all came in and like gave him hugs.
No, it was a very stressful day, very stressful. Just not much time to prepare for having your fucking dream match. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm
Sometimes
like,
And you had to like do so much bullshit for the 2 days leading up. It's not
Right.
like you could prepare.
But like sometimes, I don't know. I think like when you don't think about it so much, that's like when you're at your best.
I agree 100%. Like
Yeah.
I got to the building 5:30. Show starts at 8, and we're first. So it's like, oh boy. not much time.
I'm
to
saying you
prepare.
didn't know you were first, huh?
No, I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything. And luckily the match, went how it went. And the response from the crowd, like the I hate to say the word pop, but the pop, and then holy shit on the entrance. It was like, man, at one point I had to catch myself from smiling because I'm like, oh, you're the bad guy, you know? But all I kept thinking was a couple things. One, like in WWE when we had pitched to be back with them, the people who said no one would remember. It was kind of like, fuck you, motherfuckers.
Big fuck you, for sure, yeah.
And also it was like, everything I've done these past 4 years, people fucking know what I'm doing.
Right.
So it was like two satisfying moments at once, and then it was like I get into the ring, I'm like, oh fuck, this ring is fucking big, because I'm used to like a 16 or an 18.
Yeah.
16s, yeah.
I never even locked up with Adam before, ever.
I was going to ask you guys that. What you guys kind of split when he was hurt, and then there was you didn't have a feud.
There was one, I don't remember if Broski remembers this. I can't remember what happened. Maybe he like fucked us over on TV, like the En La Familia. But we were all still in the live events, and then there was something where he's working like the main event, and we have to come out and like we just kind of like beat him up back to the ring, and he goes like it was like just a one weekend.
I don't even remember that.
And we were all like, "This is so awkward. I don't like this." So we had to like just brother punch him. We meet him in the aisleway and like fight him back to whoever.
Not on TV,
like,
just live events.
just a live, but that's like the only time I didn't even remember that, like, because we were always on the same team, you know.
You know, I put this in my Instagram post, like when we did the run-in at WrestleMania, which, by the way, I found this out after the fact. The match I had with Adam was exactly 16 years after that WrestleMania run-in.
That is crazy.
How fucking wild is that? I got
So
goosebumps right now just fucking saying
weird.
that.
Like, how
So
is it
weird.
possible? It's nuts.
But
By the way, they said Major Wrestling Figure Podcast on the show.
I know.
It's the king of the indies, the deathmatch king, 2 times over Pro Wrestling Illustrated's Independent Wrestler of the Year. It's Matt Cardona. He's always ready. And to those that know Matt, Nigel, he said it in Pro Wrestling Illustrated. He said it on the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast. If he had one dream match, he'd catch it in against the man who led him to Major League Big Time Wrestling, the man in the ring, the TNT champion.
I know. Ian Riccaboni, thank you so
He's
much.
the best.
Tony Schiavone, Slapdick.
I flew home from Squared Circle Expo because the Easter Bunny is very real at my house, and I couldn't, be there, do the show, or fly in the morning. But that, like, it was twofold. It was like, oh, I want to get home, say goodnight to my kids, but also, like, I'm like, shit, I got to watch this Broski match.
Yeah.
And my phone, it was literally going on as I was, like, in the Uber back to my house. My phone was, like, blowing up, and I couldn't wait. And one of the things I got to say, when I did watch it, I was like, oh, thank God Riccaboni's on this call, because I just know he knows us and stuff. And
He's
I thought
the
that
man.
was really cool. And then, yeah, just ear to ear happy. I was proud, excited, jealous even, shit. I was going through all the emotions watching that. But nobody was as proud as Mark. And I got this picture, this candle. Picture of Mark watching from behind the curtain. Broski do his thing,
I wanted to get the footage of the pop, right? Because
Yeah.
I wanted to get it from the crowd. Because here's the thing, guys, right? The other thing that I immediately knew is this vlog is going to be awesome. Because you guys...
And it was already awesome with fun, stuff that we do anyway, right?
Right. So you guys are doing this Squared Circle Expo vlog, which is going to be great. But then just randomly Broski leaves and goes to do a dream match at AEW, which is nuts. And then I'm like, oh, I'm going to be in the vlog too. So
Yeah.
I wanted to shoot the crowd, and I stepped out of the first curtains on the side, but I was still behind other curtains. So I'm standing there like, oh, this is a perfect spot. No one will see me at all. But there's this fucking camera. There's a picture of just I stand out like a sore thumb in my bright ass suit, holding up the camera, filming Broski. It is hilarious. The wizard behind the curtain, says Tim Merritt. But yeah, I wanted to get the pop ski.
And to backtrack for a second, like I thought I was so like I guess ignorant at the time when we were the Edgeheads. I thought, oh, well, next year WrestleMania will be me versus Hawkins versus Ryder, 3-way, 100%. And the next year WrestleMania, Brian and I are fucking jabronis in a we're lumberjacks,
baby.
So I couldn't be further from the dream triple threat I had in mind. But then, Adam retires due to a neck injury. I'm like, well, fuck, never gonna have my dream match. He comes back. I get fired from WWE. I'm like, well, I'm never gonna have it.
And comes back, and we were told nobody. We pitched a ton of things to be involved in them, or even be like not even things like to be the Edgeheads again, but like where whoever he was going into that Mania with beats the fuck out of us, and it's like some kind of sympathy for him as a baby.
I think we were trying to get
not even like we're not even like, oh, put us with Edge and we'll be tag champs again. Like, it wasn't even like what you would think people were pitching. We were just pitching like anything to be involved in unselfish things.
We are seen like in an ambulance shot. Remember, because we left Raw early because we weren't doing anything.
No. You're mixing that up. You did an ambulance shot that was post show, but Raw before the pandemic.
It goes off the air. The bet they drop. Randy drops Beth.
That doesn't go off. We're on Raw, and I'm with you guys. Me and VSK are in the ring.
You're thinking of something else. I'm thinking of somewhere with Gallows and Anderson, like literally about to take a bite into my burger, and like, you need to go back to Raw.
Two things.
That same thing happened. We were in the car leaving to go record the podcast in Brooklyn.
Okay, one is Barclays. We were all about to leave to go record the podcast. We did leave, and we got called back.
But
that's
3 blocks
where
away.
Randy sticks Beth, and I don't know why Adam's not even there.
Okay.
And we all come out, and you are like Mark's a fake medic, right?
I'm the doctor. VSK's the doctor.
And then there's another time, there's like a post-show stretcher job that we got called back for. I don't even think it was on TV, where we're like, you're going to be okay, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that, actually. I think that was first. And then our thing was second.
But yeah, to finally get the match, especially since I've been just taught, like, if you go and listen to the podcast from last week and see my tweets from this week, it's like I had I post like a picture of like the Edgeheads, like all this stuff, like teasing this match, but it wasn't booked. It wasn't supposed to happen. It was just kind of like meant to be, I guess, even though I don't believe in that shit, you know? But I haven't watched the match back because I loved it so much. And I know if I watch it back, I'll like dissect myself and fucking hate it. But I in the moment, I absolutely loved it. And like the people hated me, which I loved even more.
Yeah, that was great.
I think we told a good little story.
It's an awesome crowd. That crowd was awesome.
Yeah.
My one critique was, were you trying to do the Edge like corner fire up?
Yeah.
I thought it was good.
I thought it was good too. Well, I was doing the little bounce to get like that's what I do before the radio silence, and I just dropped down to the spear.
He was doing the broski version, not the Edge.
Oh yeah, okay. Just to clarify that.
Because Edge did it right before.
Yeah. It's a little different, but
Well, listen, sorry, I don't do the spear like you do. I didn't fucking steal his moves, you know.
But it's a tribute.
Well, now I'll tell you what, I'm gonna steal that execution new move from my move set.
I thought you did that anyway.
I've never done it before. I'm gonna start doing it now. Do you do it in TNA?
The DDT?
Yeah.
It's like a deep falsy move for me or something. Not really like a every match move.
I'm adding it to my repertoire.
That was an exact Brian Myers spot, by the way. The dick kick pull in execution.
Never saw you do it once in my life.
Subconsciously,
that dick kick is Broski 101
I'm
cutoff
the
spot.
Exact spot. I've done.
Yeah, you know what I did on my way to fucking London? I was watching Brian Myers matches on YouTube.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying maybe subconsciously you kept it there.
I don't know.
How far was that Detroit drive?
It was
2
like
hours?
2.5 hours.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Have the show. Great match. Like, I'm on a natural high. I go to the London hotel.
This is a real broski move.
I think this is actually a great move on my part.
I know, but I would have just tapped out and just, I don't know.
I go to the AEW booked me in a London hotel. I get there and I ask the guy, I literally check in. I check into the hotel, get my room key. I ask the guy, how far is this away from the airport? He says a half hour. I'm like, a half hour? I have to be at the airport. My flight's at 6. So that means I have to be there at 5. It's a half hour away. I got to jump off a car. I'm like, and at this point, it's like almost midnight already.
Yeah.
And then I look at my flights. I'm like, wait a minute. My flight is London to Toronto to Orlando. Why don't I just fucking drive to fucking Toronto now,
Yeah.
book a fucking hotel, and then just catch that layover?
How far was that drive?
It was like an hour and a half, and not too bad.
But I guess my thing is, how did you know that you could just catch the layover
No,
flight?
I had to call Air Canada and ask. And I had to
Yeah,
pay
you have to like you
I had
can't
to-
just
I had to pay
if you miss the
$50.
first one, they'll cancel the second.
Yeah,
one.
yeah. I had to pay $50 to like re-credit it or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
So
I
then
used
you get-
Marriott
you just get the
points.
one.
I asked Mark what hotel he was staying at. I wanted to hang out with Mark. I fucking used my points to get there. I get there. He goes, I'm tired. I'm not hanging out.
It was 12:30. I was laying in bed.
I literally drove to hang out with Mark. Said, nah, I took a
Oh,
shower.
I'm sorry,
eh.
man.
How come
I'm
they
sorry.
didn't put you with everyone else? I'm more confused.
Because I had asked, I didn't know where everyone was flying out of, so I asked, because they said, do you want to drive back to Detroit and fly? I said, fuck no, just fly me out of London.
Right.
So because I just didn't know. I didn't know everyone else was staying in Toronto.
Yeah, we were all in Toronto and got bussed.
Yeah.
London
Toronto
must have
too.
been. I don't think we've ever flown out of London in our career. Even in WWE, we drove to Toronto to do it.
But
And in Impact, we did Detroit and drove.
But man, hell of a house, hell of a reaction, hell of a moment for me, and
man,
all
so
the
cool.
all the people who reached out, the major marks. I really really appreciate it. Thank you. It was a career highlight for sure. Check one off that bucket list, and hopefully now with this Forbidden Door, we can see maybe Brian Myers take that Copeland. I don't know why I can't say
You have said that
Copeland.
different every
Can't
time.
handle that. huh?
Take a shot of your PBR, pals. I can't
Yeah.
even. It's a tongue twister. Cope open.
Hell yeah.
But,
Well,
yeah.
great job.